Scientists may have just found the strongest hint of alien life ever detected, and it isn't coming from Mars. It isn't coming from some rocky planet with blue skies, forests, and breathable air. It's coming from a world 120 light years away, a planet 2.6 times the size of Earth, possibly covered by a single endless ocean beneath a thick alien atmosphere. This isn't Earth 2.0. It might be something far stranger. The planet is called K2-18b, and hidden deep inside its atmosphere, scientists may have detected a molecule that, on Earth, is almost exclusively produced by living organisms. Before we get into what they found, you need to understand just how strange this planet really is. K2-18b sits around 120 to 124 light years away from Earth, in the constellation Leo. It was first spotted in 2015, buried in data from NASA's Kepler Space Telescope. Just another distant dot nobody paid much attention to. Then scientists looked closer. The planet is 2.6 times larger than Earth and nearly 8 to 9 times more massive. That places it in a category called sub-Neptunes, worlds bigger than Earth but smaller than Neptune. It orbits a cool red dwarf star, much dimmer than our Sun, sitting right inside what astronomers call the habitable zone, the region around a star where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist. That detail alone made people stop. But this isn't about finding another version of home. We're not talking about Mars, our neighbor, the next target on the list for human space exploration. K2-18b might be something else entirely, something we don't have a proper name for yet. It might be a completely new type of planet, and the deeper scientists look, the stranger it became. Here's where science starts feeling less like astronomy and more like science fiction. Scientists now believe K2-18b could be what they're calling a Hycean world, a planet covered by a single massive global ocean beneath a thick hydrogen-rich atmosphere. No continents, no mountains breaking the surface, no coastlines, no land at all. Imagine an entire world covered by a single endless ocean. Just dark water stretching endlessly in every direction, blanketed above by clouds that may never fully clear. The atmosphere is pressing down, unknown currents moving through oceans no human eye will ever see. And it goes deeper than that. That atmosphere could be enormous, warm, heavy, and dense with hydrogen gas. Below the cloud layer, pressure levels may become absolutely crushing as the ocean extends deeper into darkness. Some scientists believe massive storms move constantly through the sky above, while strange currents shift silently through waters below. Here's the thing, we've never seen anything like this before. Hycean worlds are unlike anything in our own solar system. There's no true comparison. Not Earth, not Neptune, not Europa. This would be an entirely different category of habitable planet, one where the conditions for life look completely different from anything humanity has ever studied. And K2-18b might be one of the very first real candidates for this type of world ever identified. That possibility alone would have been enough to make headlines. But then came the James Webb Space Telescope, and suddenly things became much more serious. When scientists pointed the James Webb Space Telescope directly at K2-18b's atmosphere, the goal was straightforward: study the chemistry inside it. Researchers expected to find gases like methane and carbon dioxide, common molecules, nothing unusual. And they did find those. But buried deeper inside the telescope data was something they absolutely did not expect: a possible signal of dimethyl sulfide, DMS. Here's why that stopped everyone cold. On Earth, DMS is a molecule produced almost entirely by living marine organisms, specifically by microscopic ocean plankton. It's considered a potential biosignature, a chemical fingerprint that, on our planet, points directly to biological activity. So when scientists detected a possible trace of it inside the atmosphere of a distant ocean world, the question became impossible to avoid. Something in this planet's atmosphere shouldn't be there unless life is involved. Scientists are being extremely careful. The signal is real, but weak. There could be non-biological explanations. Strange chemical reactions under extreme conditions might produce DMS naturally, without any living organisms involved. And more recent analysis has raised serious questions about how strong the original detection actually was. This is not proof of life, but it is one of the most compelling hints ever found beyond our solar system. And it came from exactly the kind of world, a vast alien ocean, where marine life on Earth would feel most at home. That's not a coincidence scientists are willing to dismiss. That's the kind of signal that keeps researchers up at night, running the numbers again and again. So could life actually exist on K2-18b? Possibly, but it wouldn't look anything like life on Earth. If organisms survive on this world, scientists think they'd be microscopic, tiny marine microbes drifting through deep alien oceans, not cities, not intelligence, not anything that walks, flies, or looks back at a camera. Just life in its most basic form, adapted over billions of years to conditions humans can barely imagine. The planet's temperatures, sitting inside the habitable zone, could allow liquid water, but everything else about K2-18b is extreme. The atmosphere is thick with hydrogen, completely unbreathable for us. Pressure levels below the cloud layer could be crushing. The ocean chemistry is entirely unknown, and that's the part of this story that lingers. For decades, people imagined alien life as something familiar. Creatures walking on solid ground, under skies somewhat like ours. K2-18b suggests the universe had completely different plans. The first life humanity discovers may not live on a rocky world under a friendly sun. It might be floating silently in the dark waters of an alien ocean, in conditions we'd never survive, doing something we'd barely recognize as living. That's not just alien life. That's an entirely alien version of what it means to exist. But wait until you picture what visiting K2-18b would actually look like. Humans wouldn't survive there. The atmosphere is thick with hydrogen, toxic and completely unbreathable from the moment you arrived. Gravity would be significantly stronger than Earth's, making every movement exhausting and damaging to the human body over time. And beneath the cloud layer, pressure builds to levels that would be absolutely crushing long before you reach the ocean's surface. You wouldn't land on K2-18b. You'd descend into it, down through dense clouds that never clear, toward dark water with no visible horizon, pressure increasing with every second, in an ocean whose chemistry we don't understand, in a world where the rules are completely different from anything we've ever known. This world could support life, just not life like us. And then there's the distance. K2-18b is 120 light years away. That means light itself, traveling at 300,000 kilometers per second, takes over a century just to arrive. With today's technology, we have no realistic way of getting there. Take Voyager 1, the fastest spacecraft humanity has ever launched, currently moving at roughly 61,000 kilometers per hour. At that speed, reaching K2-18b would take more than 2 million years. Think about what that actually means. Entire civilizations could rise, collapse, and disappear before a spacecraft ever arrived. The human species would be unrecognizable or gone entirely before anything we launched today crossed that distance. Even if humanity launched today, no one alive would ever reach it. K2-18b may turn out to be one of the most important worlds humanity ever discovers, and remain forever out of reach. Maybe the biggest discovery here isn't K2-18b itself. Maybe it's what this planet forces us to admit about what we assumed. For decades, the search for life beyond Earth was really a search for another version of home. A rocky planet, familiar gravity, liquid water in a form we'd recognize, maybe even breathable air. We were looking for something that felt like us. K2-18b says, stop looking for home. Life doesn't need continents. It doesn't need blue skies or seasons or sunlight in the way we know it. If organisms exist on K2-18b, they evolved in total darkness, under crushing pressure, in an alien ocean, breathing chemistry we've never experienced. And they've probably been doing it for billions of years longer than humans have existed. That's not a lesser form of life. That's life that found a completely different way to exist. And if one strange ocean world 120 light years away could pull that off, how many others are out there? How many worlds have we already ignored because they didn't look enough like Earth? Dark planets, hydrogen atmospheres, endless oceans beneath distant stars. Each one a world we never thought to look for, possibly hiding life we wouldn't recognize even if we found it. The universe, it turns out, may not have needed our permission to get creative. So, do you think there's life out there? Could K2-18b already be hiding strange alien organisms beneath those endless oceans right now, completely unaware that humanity is watching from across the galaxy? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if this made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.